Hey, what's up? Welcome to the 12th episode of MRTV Weekly. I'm your host, Mitch Rosenbaum. I haven't made an MRTV Weekly episode in about 3 weeks, so I'm going to be talking about the entertainment news from the past 3 weeks. In movies, 2 weeks ago, we got possible character details for the Justice League movie. I'm not going to go into that in full detail just yet because I will be making a video to talk about that very soon. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Michael Rosenbaum are being considered for the role of Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. The Oscars will be honoring the James Bond movies because of the 50th anniversary. Lastly, J.J. Abrams granted a Trekkie's last dying wish. Dan was diagnosed with 2 forms of cancer, and the doctors recently gave Dan only a few weeks to live. His last dying wish was to see the new Star Trek movie. His friends and family started an internet campaign to try to make this happen. J.J. Abrams saw it and contacted Dan's wife. He got to see the movie before he died 2 weeks ago. My thoughts go out to his family and friends. In television 2 weeks ago, J.K. Rowling might be writing a Doctor Who story. BBC has announced its plan to release 11 short stories set in the Doctor Who universe, written by beloved and popular authors. While the authors haven't been confirmed yet, at the top of the list is J.K. Rowling. In comic books 2 weeks ago, we got a picture of what Iron Man will look like, starting in the God Killer story arc, and continuing in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, last week's entertainment news. In movies last week, Seth MacFarlane and Emma Stone announced this year's Oscars nominees. Also in the Oscars, we got 5 promos. Steven Spielberg is starting over on Robopocalypse. He said, "We found that the film was costing a lot of money, and I found a better way to tell the story more economically, but also more personally. I found the personal way into Robopocalypse. And so I just told everybody to go find other jobs. I'm starting on a new script, and we'll have this movie back on its feet soon." Christopher Nolan and his brother Jonathan Nolan are going to make a movie called Interstellar. Michael Bay has added Jack Reynor to the cast of Transformers 4. He said, "I just hired a great new actor for Transformers 4 to star against Mark Wahlberg." Jack Reynor, he is a Irish kid that came to America with $30 in his pocket. Pretty ballsy. Seriously, who does that? Anyway, I spotted him in a great little Irish movie, What Richard Did. This kid is the real deal. He also said this movie takes place exactly 4 years after the war in Chicago. Now this in Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon, if you don't remember, the war in Chicago was the war in that movie. So this is 4 years after Transformers 3. The story makes a very natural transition and reason as to why we have a whole new cast. This Transformers will feel very different than the last 3. We are embarking on a new trilogy. Frank Darabont is going to rewrite the script for the Godzilla reboot. Lastly, we got a behind-the-scenes featurette for Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. In television last week, ABC is thinking about making Star Wars Underworld. A few years ago, Lucasfilms was working on a live-action Star Wars television show. It was set between episode 3 and 4, and there's a humongous time gap there, so obviously you can make a TV show in between there. So it's set between episode 3 and 4, which is referred to as The Dark Times, by Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope. It is during this period that the newly formed Galactic Empire rises to ultimate power throughout the galaxy. Lucasfilm wrote a lot of material for this, but it was never made because of budget concerns. We got a teaser trailer for Season 3 of Game of Thrones. I'm actually reading the first book, which I have right here, and I'm watching the TV show as I read the book. So I'm reading the book, and I'm watching the TV show kind of in sync with each other. The book is incredible. The TV show is incredible as well. I recommend it to anyone who is a fantasy fan. If you love fantasy, especially like Lord of the Rings, then you're going to love this. Now, what we've all been waiting for, this week's entertainment news. In movies this week, Jurassic Park 4 got a release date. The movie will be released June 13th, 2014. In my opinion, Jurassic Park 4 shouldn't be made. Don't get me wrong. I love Jurassic Park. I'm a fan of the first two movies. The third, not so much. I mean, the third movie, it was bad enough. First off, why it shouldn't be made. I mean, Michael Crichton, the writer of the Jurassic Park books, which the movies were based off, is dead. And he only wrote 3 books. So there is no fourth to base the movie off of. Now, without the writer, obviously you're going to have to bring in writers. So the movie will be written by Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver. The only good thing about this movie is that Steven Spielberg is coming back as a producer. Mark Miller talked about the future of Wolverine and expanding Fox's X-Men universe. On the subject of Wolverine, he said, I wrote the Wolverine comics twice. I did Old Man Logan and Wolverine Enemy of the State. And I don't know if it detracts having individual Wolverine adventures from X-Men. He's like the lone wolf character. He disappears and does his own thing sometimes, and then he comes back and hangs out at the mansion. So it does feel quite natural to him for him to be in these movies. On the subject of shared universe, I mean, they've already started that. They're doing the X-Men First Class Days of Future Past, which will bring their first X-Men trilogy with their new First Class movies. Marvel is talking about making a Heroes for Hire movie. It would team up 2 heroes, Iron Fist and Luke Cage. If this movie is made, the role of Iron Fist would most likely go to Ray Park. After all, he was up for the role a few years ago. Terminator 5 has found its writers. The Terminator 5 script will be written by Patrick Lussier and Leita Kalogridis. Pirates of the Caribbean 5 has a release date. The movie will be released on July 10th, 2015. Dwayne Johnson's Hercules movie has a release date. The movie will be released on August 8th, 2014. Mark Wahlberg says he'll appear on the Oscars with Ted. He also confirmed a Ted 2 script is in development. Lastly, we got the nominations for the U Reviewers Movie Awards. The good thing about this is they are the only ones that did not snub Leonardo DiCaprio. In television this week, AMC announced the new showrunner for The Walking Dead. Scott Gimple, who has been the supervising producer for the show, will be taken over as showrunner for Season 4. Also in The Walking Dead, we got a new promo for the second part of Season 3. There is a scene in the promo that caught my eye. In that scene, there is none other than Morgan. And you might say, well, that's a dark figure. How is that Morgan? Well, I have proof. These are two pictures that were taken during the shooting of The Walking Dead. Same roof, same gun, same shirt, and same person. Alexander Vlahos says that he would like to be a part of a Merlin spinoff. He said the loose ends are tied up, but there has still been talk of a spinoff. They could do a prequel or do a Knights one before the battle. I'd say yes, because I feel like I didn't have enough time with Mordred. Big Chief Studios will be releasing a 10th Doctor collector figure, in which the likeness is uncanny. The Doctor comes complete with numerous accessories, including his spectacles, 3D glasses, fob watch, psychic paper, and water pistol. With 8 interchangeable hands to adopt various poses and illuminating display base, this is the ultimate collectible for fans of the 10th Doctor. The first 250 sold will be signed by David Tennant. We got a behind-the-scenes featurette for Arrow. It shows how they created a scene with a fight between Deathstroke and Yalfei. We got a behind-the-scenes featurette for a LARP episode of Supernatural. Also, we got a behind-the-scenes featurette for Game of Thrones Season 3. We got a clip from Grimm. In comic books this week, Scott Snyder talked about the current Batman crossover story arc, Death of the Family. He said, well, I can tell you there are definitely some insane moments in the conclusion and crazy things happen, so I've always been braced for it as something that isn't designed to shock, just for the sake of shocking, but it's the culmination of the story in a way that feels organic and surprising. I can't remember who it was, but I had a teacher that gave me a writing quote when I was a student that said every ending should be both inevitable and totally surprising, and I completely believe that. Hopefully this is an ending that feels organic to the story we've been telling. Also, Thanos is getting his own comic book series. It's going to be an origin story for the character called Thanos Rising. This week I read Batman number 16, Batman and Robin number 16, Batgirl number 16, All New X-Men number 6, Captain America number 3, The Savage Wolverine number 1, and Daredevil number 22. Next week, I recommend you read Nightwing number 16, Red Hood and the Outlaws number 16, Avengers number 3, and Uncanny Avengers number 3. Well, that's all for the last 3 weeks. I'll see you next weekend.